Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today, King Louis the Great has passed away and the kingdom whose shores were washed by 3 seas finds itself fractured as MbL, playing as the Poles in blue, decides whether he will submit to red Magyar rule under Hearttt. Now, while the players herd their herdables explore their immediate surroundings with geese and scouts of all kind and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age as fast as possible, why don't we take an opportunity to look at the civilizations we will be watching today? Now, the Poles are a civ that focuses on their cavalry. If you're in the mood for something light, an appetizer perhaps, Pole scout line units do come with a small attack bonus against archers and can be upgraded to do trample damage, which is very, very helpful in the late game since Poles are one of the only 2 civs in the game to have their hussars replaced with winged hussars, which are already tankier and stronger than normal hussars and come with an attack bonus against gunpowder units, as well as an even bigger attack bonus against monks. Now, if you don't want an appetizer, you want to jump straight into the main course in the mood for something a little heavier, then you can rely on the Polish heavier cavalry. Their knights, their cavaliers can be upgraded to cost a lot less gold. And when I mean a lot, I mean it from 75 gold down to 30 gold. So it does become easier to spam these heavy units starting in Castle Age. Now, to back up your cavalry units on the battlefield, the Poles can field a pretty good, pretty underrated, in fact, in my opinion, unique unit, the Obuch. This is a tanky, well-armored infantry unit whose attack actually reduces both the melee and pierce armor of its opponent by 1 with each swipe of its comically large warhammer. Now, to support the production of their food and gold cavalry units, Pole stone miners do also generate gold while they work the quarries. Their farmers have access to a unique structure called the Folwark, which replaces their mill and automatically adds 8% of a farm's value to its coffers. We'll take a look once the Folwark goes up. And by the way, if that's still not enough for you, the Folwark also provides 5 population room. Now, Pole villagers are also harder to raid because, like Viking berserkers starting in Feudal Age, they do begin regenerating HP. And there it goes with that blacksmith icon. But there's the Folwark. So any farm seated in here, automatically 8% of that value of that farm gets added to the Polish coffers, and then 92% of the farm's value is left for you to till, which for a civilization that loves spamming cavalry units, whether heavy or light, is a pretty damn good feature. Now, turning our eye to the seat of power, we've got the Magyars in red, played by Hearttt, a fast-paced mounted civilization with a few features that make them potentially impossible to deal with in the later stages of the game. Magyar scouts, light cav, and hussars are all 15% cheaper. They get all melee attack upgrades for free, which means forging, iron casting, and blast furnace, which not only saves them about 1,000 resources, but also the time required to research those technologies. And if you think that's not an important thing, blast furnace in Imperial Age, if we're lucky enough to get to Imperial Age, 100 in-game seconds, a minute 40 seconds, as the Magyars, you'll see at the top right of your screen, this square will light up, then that square will light up, then that square will light up once they hit Feudal, Castle, and Imperial. Now, their cav archers can also, or rather are also trained faster, can be upgraded to get extra range and attack, and their unique unit, also a variant of the Hussar. The Magyar Hussar is a light cavalry unit similar to, but also a little bit stronger than a regular Hussar, except that its attack bonus is against siege units and not monks, and it does cost a little bit of gold initially, although you can upgrade it to have its gold cost replaced with food, making it a pretty powerful trash unit. Now, to support their horse-based army to explore the map to see where to poke and prod their opponents, Magyar villagers can be much more aggressive much earlier on in the game out on the map because they require only 1 strike to kill any wild animals that happen to be out on the map. And speaking of wild animals, what are we working with today? We've got Tony the Tiger. A bunch of them I see on the minimap strewn about, waiting for those villagers, but the Magyar villagers not easy prey as Hearttt loses control of a stubborn ibex. Okay, not too sure where this scout is going. Okay, going back to the ancestral hunting grounds of the ibex, or should I say maybe grazing grounds? I don't think ibex really hunt. Let's take a look at the bases as both players sit on 18 villagers, both of them heading up to Feudal Age. It looks like our Magyar will reach it 5 or 6 seconds ahead of his opponent, so not the end of the world. It's got to be 5 seconds because MbL's got 5 seconds of idle time on his TC, so there you go. Primary gold for our Pole. Ooh, very exposed in the forward position. Against a fast-paced civilization like the Magyars, you want your gold tucked away. You want it secure. And it looks like he's kind of building a cup-shaped wall off, focusing more on his berries, leaving the gold on the outside. And that might be an issue for our Pole because his other gold is here to the side and also being used as part of the wall off. And then his tertiary gold is here, annoyingly placed on top of a hill. Okay, so not too sure how he plans on defending this gold, or maybe he plans on being the one who puts on the aggression so he won't have to defend that gold. Primary stone nice and secure in the back as well. Forests in a nice triangle shape, so flanks on the left, flank on the right. Not terrible to wall off. A little bit of random bamboo here in a bit of a small clump, but the forward position completely open. He's plopped down a barracks. Hearttt sees it all. MbL, I don't think has even moved out of his base. No, oh my god, never mind. He has moved out of his base, and his scout has 8 HP. Okay, so MbL is planning to use the gold as part of his wall off here. She is just working away at that gold mine. Where is she going to drop that gold off? Your guess is as good as mine. Where is this villager going? Coming home from building that palisade wall off. Okay, so MbL was just waiting for the wood required to plop down a stable, and now Heartt's scout is trapped. I want to go take a look at his base, but he's already putting on some good aggression here with 2 scouts and a spearman. The scout pivots to the left. Defensive spearman pops out. So let's take a very quick look at our Magyar base and see whether or not there's anything. Oh, goodness gracious. His gold is nice and secure in the back. Primary stone a little bit away, but not in the attack path on the mini map at all. Oh, God. Of course, I missed a kill. What killed what? This guy's got 0 kills. This guy's got 0 kills, so it's got to be the spearman. This guy's got 0 kills as well. Was it... What am I missing here? Hearttt looks like he has 1 kill. What got the kill? One of these 3. Okay, so there was 1 scout that I didn't click on that I missed. Anyway, we'll have seen that in picture. Let's getting a bit ahead of myself. I like the location of forests here for our Magyar. His forward position, not terrible to wall off, but it does leave his flank on the right side very exposed. On the left, pretty easy to wall off. And he's also got an additional pile of gold very close by. Annoyingly, additional gold, additional stone very far away in the very forward position. And also, if those 2 things aren't enough, also placed annoyingly on a hill. Spearman does finally get that scout who has been inside the pole base for the longest of times. Stable is up. Will he train more? He is continuing to train more and more and more scouts as Hearttt does a little fancy loop-de-loop around these Polish spearmen and now heads straight home. Okay, so MbL with a few scouts has pulled the entire Magyar army back, although ends up losing another spearman. It's 2 kills to 1. So not the end of the world in terms of kills. It looks like this spearman is probably going to get gangbanged here as well, so he'll die. No, never mind. Decides to not take that fight. Ooh, both players trying to sandwich the other with a bit of a scout surprise. High ground for red at the moment. MbL realizes that, and now will he try to get the high ground? Yes, he does. Okay. So hoping that his opponent is maybe microing spearmen on the southern part of the map, MbL manages to gun down a scout, but loses a scout of his own as well. So a good amount of tit for tat here out of both players to start off at the 15-minute mark of the game. I don't mind it at all. Another full work, another full work. Now, Poles are probably going to be the only civilization aside from the Khmer Khmer that you won't see their farms hugging their town centers. Khmer obviously can place their farms wherever the hell they want. And the Poles generally try to place it around a full work because otherwise, what's the whole point of having that structure if you're not going to use it? Spearman does finally kill that 1 Polish spearman, and the parties disengage. A good time for us to look at the bases. So we saw the stable. MbL still doesn't have a secondary structure, focusing his wood expenditure instead on full works. Whereas our Magyar, obviously with the stable, obviously with the archery range. Does he have a blacksmith yet? No, he does not. And look at the food count for Hearttt. He is 100 food, 6 gold away from going up to the next age. And there's that blacksmith. Let's see how much our Pole will see of this. Now, this is a good fight for him. Manages to pick off one of these defensive spearmen, or maybe not. I'm surprised he backed away after seeing these scouts move in. I thought he for sure would try to snipe the spearman, especially if he saw that he had 4 HP left. Now, MbL is leading his opponent all the way to the right. I'm assuming... No, never mind. I thought these guys would be attacking into the center, that this is all a tactic out of MbL to pull Heartt's army out of position. But at the end of the day, none of that really matters. Both players heading up to castle now about 10 seconds apart. I mean, Heartt's idle time for his TC is 3 seconds. That's pretty damn good. That is a pretty good number. I mean, 39 seconds is not terrible out of an 18-minute game. Maybe MbL playing a bit of a more relaxed game at the moment, but Heartt's 3 seconds is ridiculously low. So if you want to learn how to, I guess, manage your town center perfectly, I bet as close to perfection as you can get, take a look at this game. The Battle of Relic Hill begins, and both players just absolutely losing the entirety almost of their forces. These 2 units are the last 2 Magyar units in existence. These 5 are the last 5 for our Pole, who, never mind, trains a 6th and now begins reinforcing with it. Why is our Pole doubling down on spearmen at the moment, seeing nothing coming out of the Magyar base? 5 spearmen is a lot. Let's see this 3-on-1. Anytime, is it just me? Anytime I see 3 units taking on 1, it always reminds me, and I think I mentioned this before, like 6 or 8 months ago. In Toronto, there used to be a pizza place called 2-for-1 Pizza, where you would order, 2 pizzas for the price of 1. Not very creative right now, but back in the 90s, it was very creative. And then they got eclipsed by a company called 3-for-1, and the pizza tasted like cardboard. It tasted like absolute shit. But every time I see 3 units chasing 1, for some reason, my brain, which, I mean, it just always has pizza on it. I always got pizza. Some people have Georgia on their minds. I've got pizza on my mind all the time. Always goes to that. Cav archers are out for our Magyar. More and more Cav archers. Yes, he's gonna need to micro these quite well. These Cav archers. MbL's units a little bit faster. 1 is a little bit faster. 1 is a lot stronger. And so if this happens, oh, he manages to pick him off. Oh, you could have engaged. You could have at least got a poke off. Now you're going to die having done nothing, accomplished nothing. Let's take a look at the relative speeds. 1.54 here versus 1.5. Okay, so never mind. Our Pole has has not researched husbandry just yet. So his units are not, I guess, faster than these Cav archers. I thought he would have had that for sure. 2 town centers apiece. Both players sitting in the low 40 villager count. Both players sitting at 12, 13 army supply. You're looking at it. This is what we're working with. 2 scorpions, a whole bunch of cavalry, and a whole bunch of Cav archers. I mean, Heartt is doubling down, and Heartt is housed. Channeling his inner MbL. We've seen MbL struggle with this recently. Heartt is already moving out with a monk heading towards relic gathering. How many relics has he seen on the map? None. He is hoping that there's one here on the left, but oh no. Oh, he misses it by 1 tile. No, he sees it. Oh, how lucky is that? That is insanely lucky. Immediately pivots to the south. Does that monk. We got a random spearman here moving out. Still, light cav moving at 1.5. In 5 seconds, that's going to jump to 1.65. And now they are finally going to be able to catch up with these Cav archers. Although he's building a bit of a slow army is our Pole. 4 villagers on stone. No stone for our Magyar. Tells me he's already built, or rather plopped down, a 3rd town center. MbL's going to see that this is a heavy Cav archer play. Not a heavy Cav archer, a heavy play into Cav archers. Obviously no heavy Cav archers. We're still in Castle Age. 16 of them. Although now he's adding in some knights as our Magyar. 4 of these guys over here should... My goodness, I was going to say should be 1 relic for our Magyar. Nuh-uh. He's got 1 relic over here. Wait, what am I missing? It said 5 a second ago. I got really excited for a second. Am I crazy? Did I see something wrong, or is it something perhaps with Capture Age? It said relic 5, and I was shocked. You guys heard me. literally shocked at how the hell did he gather all 5 relics. I thought he would just have the one. Oh my god, Tony the Tiger! Tony the Tiger kills 2 spearmen! My hand is on my forehead. I'm in cartoon level shock. What the hell was that? And he's on the low ground. No, that is a tiger you want in your retinue. This is a Mike Tyson tiger. As it is our Magyar who is pushing in. But these wall-offs are pretty juicy. These forests are pretty thick. So I'm not too sure these cav archers with 6 range are going to be able to do much. And our pole also has a forest to the back and a very safe place to mine here on the right side. Deletes his own house as he wants to get in as fast as possible because the Magyar has busted in. Or maybe there was nothing to bust. Maybe, no, there is a palisade wall here. Oh, that is so sour. This house placed here, not exactly the greatest house placement there. Does allow, oh goodness gracious, what is going on here? Does allow the Magyar to penetrate the center of the pole base, but he's not really taking advantage of it at the moment. Looks like his cav archers are engaging next to some gold to the south there. We'll see that in picture. The villagers feel cocky enough. They think their military can push this back, and it does. 2 villagers coming to build a house. What do they kill here? What does that look like? A stable? A saddle? So maybe some light cavalry units? These poor scorpions, 0 kills. They're just kind of being pushed left and right, There's much ado about nothing over here. It is our Magyar getting the light cavalry upgrade, getting ballistics, getting town watch, getting gold shaft mining. No player really engaging yet into the other, but I absolutely love the use of the cav archers here by Hearttt. Cav archers are such a technical, finicky unit. It's not in your face, like, you know, cavaliers, paladins, knights even. It's not an aggro, I'm just gonna throw a fist and I'm gonna hope that the fist lands in your face and breaks your nose kind of unit. This is more of running around, and man oh man has he run around the map with these units, but they've got to be careful. There's a reason MbL isn't pushing into here. He's trying to set a trap, if I had to guess. He wants those cav archers to go in here so that he can move his scorpions over here and absolutely demolish those cav archers, but Hearttt, sensing his spidey sense was tingling, and now he is back out. He could have easily, how many of us would have easily run into the base with the entirety of the cav archer force, only to lose them to 5 scorpions, 6 scorpions, who are literally jonesing for a kill. They were built, they've done nothing, they were shuffled around the base a little bit, and now they have 0 kills. 33 cav archers for our Magyar. Okay, so it's safe to say we know what Hearttt is going to do. But as I was saying, his use of them is fantastic. They're here. 5 seconds later, they're here. 5 seconds later, they're here. He is using them perfectly. This is a... how do I put this? Cav archers are a unit. It's like if you're fighting somebody and you're gripping their shirt with your left hand and trying to use your right hand to punch them in the face. This is the right hand, and this is the left hand that's kind of keeping them in place. You want to use these units to run around, to snipe whatever you can, to keep your opponent running away, to hinder his economy, because you're not going to kill his economy, especially when the player has walled himself off like MbL. Especially when you're playing against an opponent like MbL. And there we go. Schlachte is on the way with this King of the Hill Castle. Really, the death-dealing units are the knights, the heavy cavalry, the siege. Cav archers, like all archers, their usefulness is in a different type of... like I said, they're there to position your opponent in a certain way so that your heavier cavalry can bust into them. Now, let me know if you agree, disagree. These units can't take down structures. They can't really take down siege very well. They can't really engage into heavier cavalry very, very well. So that's why I think they're more of a positioning unit. That being said, both players are heading into Imperial. We are going to get to see a nice little Imperial bash. What are you doing over here? Hearttt is extending his vision to the right side of the map. Looks like the left side as well. As the Scorpions, will they finally get their first kill? Virgins no longer. These 6, this half dozen But they are taking on a, I mean, I don't know what the technical term is, a buttload of cav archers. Holy shit. How many cav archers does he have? He's going up to 40. That being said, Schlachter is done. He's got enough resources to train 11, 12, 13 more knights. And he is training 10 at a time, is our poll. Cav archers have to be careful on the right flank here. They are entering into castle firing zone. In come the monks as well to perhaps help heal. Has he seen? No. He hasn't seen the relic next to the world's deadliest tiger, nor has he seen the relic to the right. Right next to his own base? How has he not seen that? Okay, so he has seen that one. So our Magyar potentially could have 4 relics. And look at this. A bunch of knights and stables. And this is what I'm talking about. These cav archers, they're not going to destroy these stables very quickly or at all. At the same time, though, our poll says enough's enough. My light cavalry units are going to lead these knights into an ambush, but he himself gets ambushed by these cav archers. His upgrades are only +1/+1. Our poll needs to focus a little bit more on his upgrades if he wants to overpower the Magyar army, which is here. It is not going anywhere. Not too sure what the point of that is. Looks like he lost a bunch of his light cavalry and a knight or two. Hearttt needs to run these cav archers around a little bit. We're seeing cavaliers. We're getting chemistry. We're getting bracer. We're getting iron casting. So both players playing to the strengths of their civilization. We're getting heavy cav archers as well. Monks trying to convert the knights. And this is the problem. This is what happens when your cav archers get closed in on. They just melt to the heavier melee cavalry, which comes with 4 pierce, so they can take a punch, while the cav archer comes with 2 melee armor against the knight. Converted knight chases his former fellow military men. He will get gunned down by castle, by town center. Doesn't really matter. What the hell is this? Okay, we've seen some crazy things in Age of Empires. Not too sure what the hell is going on over here. At the 38-minute mark of the game, there are there are 2 villagers in the middle of Blue's base, while Hearttt now engages underneath a castle. He doesn't care, though. He's going for villager snipes. What an absolute bonkers turn of events here. Hearttt is just not paying attention. Okay, I don't know what got that tiger. Probably a errant castle arrow. But the cavaliers are here. And this is what I'm talking about. Oh my god, look how bruised and battered they are. Okay, he disengages. The pole runs away. Cannot engage. Looks like the cavaliers finally managed to get those villagers. Can he run into the base here, by the way? No. So this is still walled off. But again, the primary gold is very much in trouble here for our pole. Not that, again, he needs that much gold to train his cavaliers. So he's going up to 43 cavaliers. But his secondary gold looks like it was mined out. It used to form part of the wall off. And now his primary gold is nullified. Lamed, if you will. His tertiary gold is lamed. Where is he getting gold? Where is 5 gold villagers? 3 gold villagers? What am I missing? No, there's no gold here. Okay, now the cav archers are going to start running around. So Hearttt going back to basics, adding more cav archers. He's going up to 65 cav archers. He's getting Corvinian army. What the hell? MbL springs a trap. MbL springs a trap. Oh my god, that was absolutely epic. We're going to have to go back and see this. I'm going to have to remind myself at the 40-minute mark. Wow. Wow, that was absolutely epic out of MbL. That being said, there's a lot of dead blue bodies here. Okay, there's a lot of high ground that these cav archers took. Oh my god, what a perfect ambush in theory, and what an absolute disaster in practice. That was just absolutely horrifying to watch. I thought those cavaliers would do a whole lot more. They are fully upgraded with blast furnace, with all the armor upgrades that they can possibly get, but these cav archers are just one-shotting them. Yikes, what do you do at this point? There's literally 43 cav archers here. It looks like MbL tried yet again to punch through here to the east. And look at these anchor castles that our Magyar is plopping down. He gets the sense that MbL wants to poke and prod. He gets the sense, and why wouldn't he? That's all MbL has been doing. He's sending groups of these cavaliers, these knights, into his base, so why the hell not? Look at this, even a third castle in the center here. Oh, he's got to be careful, though. You cannot lose cav archers to castles. And here we go, MbL yet again. Now we got Magyar Hussars. Look at that attack bonus against Siege. 5 attack bonus against Siege. Such an underrated unit. This is like the battle of underrated units here between Magyar Hussars and Obos. MbL penetrates. Did he know about this castle? Absolutely not. Oh my god. Is he going to find out about this second castle? Oh, he's going to find out about the second castle. Oh, that's about as sour as you could possibly get for MbL. His cavaliers are just absolutely melting while these not cav archers, his cavaliers, while these cav archers. Oh man. I mean, 1 dead body, 2 dead body, 3, looks like 4, 5, 6. You know there's going to be a number 7 here. I mean, this is a garrison town center. This is a garrison castle. Yeah, you know there's going to be 7 or 8 dead bodies here. MbL looks like his attack here was also stopped. And holy moly. I mean, what do you say? Except let's see that trap. That was fantastic. Okay, so before the trap is sprung, 6, 6, 7, and 6. So what's 18 and 7 is 25. But you see, I think the Magyars are on the... No, are they on the high ground here? 1 second. No, it doesn't look like they're on the high ground here. Okay, so 1 pops out, then the other 3 pop out. And I mean, this should have been game over for these cav archers. Not for Hearttt, but for these cav archers. Let's see what he's attacking with here in the immediate vicinity. Look at the HP difference. 26 cavaliers to 21 cav archers. 3,500 HP to 1,500 HP. If MbL reacted any slower, he would have lost a lot more. Okay, so he left his knights behind to die. Who cares? Converted knights, not exactly the craziness you want. Okay, there's a reinforcing body of about 10 or so cav archers here. Oh my goodness, what an absolute crazy attempt. I mean, it was ultimately unsuccessful, but that was a fun attempt to trap those cav archers and get them. But look at the death ball. I've said this before about cav archers. They're a unit that if your opponent goes for cav archers, you need to stop them ASAP. In addition to walling off your base, in addition to building counter units like fast cavalry units that can engage into them, you have to stop them. Otherwise, they form death ball level status. 50 of them over here. Look at their attack. It should be a 12 attack, 8 range on a Magyar cav archer. Is just ridiculous. And MbL, I think this was the icing on the cake, though. I think if these guys were still alive, you could try to maneuver these, although honestly 49 cav archers attacking on 12, even when you have, what is it, 4? That's 8 damage per shot. So what's 8 times 59? 472 damage. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So this is enough to one-shot 3 cavaliers for every time they fire. And by the way, they fire 1.8 second delay, so pretty damn fast. And wow, MbL just used these guys perfectly, and not MbL, Hearttt used these guys perfectly, and MbL failed to stop the death ball from forming. Stubbornly tried to bust in through this side multiple times. Still don't really know what the hell happened with those villagers here in the back of the base. Well, I'll definitely going to watch that back and add a picture-in-picture to see how the hell they got there and where the hell they went. But the real story here is this absolute death ball and fancy footwork out of both of these players. Honestly, right from the beginning of the game, Hearttt, if you remember, at what was it, like the 10, 11, 12 minute mark of the game, with a little fancy maneuver here with his scouts, and then MbL springing a trap. But like I said, in theory, fantastic. The execution, I don't know if it was the high ground here and here. I don't know if it was the 10 to 18 reinforcing heavy cav archers. I don't know if it was just the fact that these cavaliers were just clumped one behind the other, or if you released one from one stable, one pack of 6 from one stable, and then the others from the 3 stables instead of releasing them all at once? I don't know what the answer is. Please feel free, go back, watch that battle again. Let me know your thoughts. But that was just an absolute that was just hilarious. My mouth was open. It was just an amazing thing to watch. And I feel bad for MbL that it didn't work, because in theory, you'd like to think that this Cavalier that attacks on a 16 against a unit that has only 2, or now has 5 armor, but only 80 HP, should have done a pretty damn good job against them. But again, the high ground, the reinforcement, the clumping up of the Cavaliers one behind the other just kept these guys alive, and keeping them alive is basically what won MbL the game here. Oh my god, Hearttt the game. 102 Polish Cavaliers, 110 Magyar Cav Archers, PKPM towards the end of the game, PKPM towards the middle of the game here for our Magyar. The economies, I can't see them, being too different. Looks like a bit more relic gold, 1,500 gold. That buys you a pretty penny worth of Cav Archers, it does. Especially when you also have the wood lead by about 2,000. Food, he's down about 4,000, about 5,000 actually. Not surprising there with the full works and just the need for food for our Pole. But everything else going to the Magyars here. Conversions, 3 conversions out of 135. Nothing to write home about. But the Cav Archers have to put in the work. Yeah, look at that. 144 kills for the Magyars, 71 kills for our Pole, and 41 dead villagers for the killed by the Magyars. And this is exactly what I was talking about. This is a zoning unit. And again, let me know your thoughts if you agree, disagree. But this is not a unit that can punch you in the face. This is look, 49 of anything will punch you in the face. 49 villagers will punch you in the face, Spanish or not. But this is a unit more designed, like I said, he was using them, I think, perfectly. They were here, then they were here, then they were here, then they were here. Although, oh my goodness, that, by the way, was not the first trap that MbL sprung. I think this was a bit of a trap here when he was waiting with his Scorpions and he was waiting with his Knights and his light cavalry units here, hoping that perhaps Hearttt would penetrate into here, built this wall off so that Hearttt would be stuck between a Scorpion and a hard place. But ultimately, none of the traps ever came to fruition, and even though they were fancy and amazing to see, it is Hearttt, our heavy Cav Archer Magyar, who takes the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.